Today I have an incredibly special friend, Danny O'Donoghue. Anyone who doesn't know who Danny is, you'll know his songs and the band, The Script. 8 albums with The Script now.
8 albums, yeah. And we went from the height of what we thought was going to be the most amazing roller coaster ever into this just free fall. Been living on a friend's couch.
How long were you couch surfing?
2 years maybe.
But now we gotta go to Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That was a big one, right? That was a...
Oh, that's the biggest, yeah. I walked in, he played me the piano riff. And I literally was like, hold my beer. Like...
Welcome to another episode of Songs You Know, and today I have an incredibly special friend and guest, Danny O'Donoghue.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
O'Donoghue.
Yeah, it's very good.
It took me forever to learn it.
Yeah.
But if you're Irish, you would know it, right?
Yeah, it's kind of, they say it with like a big Irish draw, like Donoghue.
Do you have to explain the name a lot?
Sometimes, yeah.
Not anymore so much.
In Ireland and England, it's fine. In America, they go Donoghue.
Donoghue.
Donoghue. But if you go to one of the Asian countries, they're gone. Danny or no Doganogonahu. It's very difficult.
So anyone who doesn't know who Danny is, you'll know his songs. They're incredible songs, and the band, The Script. The Man That Can't Be Moved is one of those all-time incredible songs that I'm jealous of because it's so genius.
Good ditto. That means I've got one because you got about 10 I'm jealous of.
And for the first time, what a genius song.
Thank you.
Breakeven, Hall of Fame, Superheroes, No Good and Goodbyes. Later I would love to find out how these songs were written.
Sure.
But for now I'm just going to plow through your achievements and accomplishments.
Cool, sounds good.
So on The Voice, for many years you were a judge and a coach, right?
Yeah.
And you've done 8 albums with The Script now.
8 albums, yeah.
8 albums. And
7 official and 1 greatest hits.
And they were all #1 in Ireland and most of them #1 in the UK.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Thank you.
And you've even produced Britney Spears and...
Yeah, we've gotten a few songs out there through the days. We early on in our career, I used to be in a band before The Script. I was in this band called My Town.
Yeah.
And we were signed to Universal. And that's how I got my kind of start in the industry, was in this kind of all singing, all dancing kind of band. And we were playing and writing and producing. And it was a flop. We released 1 single, went out on tour. We toured pretty extensively. But the song didn't do well. And we went from the height of what we thought was going to be the most amazing roller coaster ever into this just free fall. It never went up. So, it went bad really, really, really quickly. And we all tried to, I guess, assess what we were going to do after that. And one thing from myself and Mark was that we wanted to write and produce. We've always known that.
So it's always been the two of you. And, you have another band member or 2 more members.
Glenn and Ben, yeah. So it's all, I guess, the genesis of it has always been myself and Mark but we're very good friends since we're kids.
How did you guys meet?
Oh, funny enough, I was brought, there was a friend of mine who used to breakdance, and I used to think he was the coolest guy at school. And he told me that he was being taught by this guy. So I was introduced to Mark. I had a look through the window, and this was like one guy at the top of the class.
Breakdancing.
Well, there was there was this one guy at the top of the class, and there's like 30 girls hanging on his every word.
Whoa.
And he's like giving all the cool moves, and all the ladies are all talking about him afterwards and stuff. And I was like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Forget about the music, because my family were all in music, but I just I seen that and I went, that looks really cool. He was dancing to like, all the old hip hop and soul records. So I joined the class. That's how I originally met him.
Oh, he was giving the class.
He was teaching, and then I joined the class. Started at the back of the class, then worked my way up to the front.
Yeah.
And then he, through over the years, maybe 2 years, we were doing that, and then I ended up. He started to kind of branch out and have other people teaching for him. So he was kind of like a wheeler dealer, whereas like if there was money to be made, he'd be making it. So he'd have me off teaching classes for him, and then we'd have
So you know how to break dance?
Yeah. I'm
like
actually
the whole spinning on the floor
actually a
thing
breakdance champion.
Way.
I got the medal in Ireland from my age group and category.
You gotta show me that sometime.
Yeah, I will. Do it. I'll probably break a hip now, but yeah, I can do some.
You
of
do
it
on stage too?
Yeah. It was a different thing, so I was like, the script doesn't really call for it anymore.
No.
So I don't know, you know what I mean? I get jealous of looking at all Bruno Mars being all like doing body popping and locking and stuff.
It's crazy.
But yeah, that's kind of where that's how I met him. And we got on really well because he loved American music, he loved soul music and Boyz II Men and Brian McKnight and Teddy Riley and Blackstreet.
Yes.
And it all looked so much fun and cool and No Diggity, songs like that were kind of... Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like all those songs were coming online at that time.
Dun.
How hot is that? Go down, down, down.
So cool. Everything about this song is so cool.
Yeah, so we emulated them. We kind of emulated those bands and we tried to be, I guess, the white version of those bands in Ireland. So we were a little bit harder, and I say boy band, but we were a little bit harder than those types of bands, what we thought we were. But looking back on it...
How old were you around that time?
I was 15, 16.
Oh wow, so young.
It was really young, yeah. I'd known that I'd wanted to be in music for a very, very long time, but my father was a writer and producer from back in the day. He had a #1 in Ireland, and then both my brothers, Dara and Ian, were both in 2 separate bands, but they were also had #1s in Ireland, #1 albums.
So you're royalty already.
In my own
Irish royalty.
In my own mind, yeah. And my mum's, God rest her soul, she's the only woman in Ireland to have all 3 sons on this famous show called The Late Late Show.
Wow.
All in different bands with #1 albums.
Everyone in your family had #1 hits in Ireland.
Well, I've got
except you.
I got
until then.
Exactly at that point. And so music had always been in there, and I guess the genre why I picked it is like I was fascinated with it, but rock and pop and ska and all that, they'd already kind of been taken by the rest of my siblings. I had 3 sisters and 2 brothers, and so there's nothing left for me to have. So I picked American soul and black, black music basically. Just fascinated. I used to love all Boyz II Men's runs and licks and riffs, and just try to practice and emulate those. And Babyface was kind of the first. I guess he was the first artist that I went, that's what I want to do. I don't just want to be in a band. I'd like to write. I'd like to produce. I'd like to write for other people. So I kind of, him and David Foster, I remember being probably two very prevalent producers at the time. And and then we were just writing away, and we got signed in my town. Got signed in by Doug Morris by Universal for $15 million.
Whoa!
Over 6 albums, and we thought that was it. That were happy days. We're it. That's it now. I'm as big as Teddy Riley now. That's it. Because they spent about $1 million on the record. They spent 250,000 on the first video. We got to work with. They were like, "Who do you want to work with on the album?" We were like, "Boyz II Men." So we got to go into the studio with Boyz II Men. We wrote with the boys. We wrote 2 songs with them. Teddy Riley from Blackstreet, we got to go into the studio with him.
Wow.
Dallas Austin, we ended up going to the studio with him. Montel Jordan, got to go in the studio.
Best of the best of this time,
absolutely, and at that time, great lyricists as well. Billy Steinberg.
Yes. We had Billy just now on the podcast.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Love Billy. Love Billy.
What a legend.
He knows me since I'm 15.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'd say I really started to take pride in lyrics after meeting Billy. Great. Just how much of an industry just that one discipline is. So I have to say I probably had one of the best upbringings outside of a college that you could have. It was like real world experience by getting into the studio with these people, and I love just sitting in the back of the room just writing down what people do.
What was the band called at that time?
The band was called My Town. Yeah, again, nobody would have heard of it, so it's alright.
And it's you singing and Mark producing?
Same thing. Like we're us, because some of the songs we produced, most of the stuff was somebody better than us. David Foster produced one of our first singles.
And do you think that then you've made it? If David Foster produces your record and you work with all the greats of the time, you think, wow, this must be a success, and we're done, we're made now.
That's it. That's the hard work is finished, and it wasn't. We went out on tour. We toured with NSYNC and Britney Spears and all these people on the Nickelodeon tour.
Why do you think it didn't resonate?
I just think the single wasn't a great single.
Back in the day, you'd spend so much money to entire album just to release one single.
Yeah.
If that's one single was the wrong pick, the wrong song, the wrong time,
boom, that's it.
Everything goes to pot.
So much money. It takes so much money to just get above the water.
Yeah.
That if you don't get your head above the clouds on that first single, so we were getting good rotation, but it wasn't past the the magic that it kicks into overdrive when you have a hit song. If I was to be hypercritical, I'd say I was 16 at the time.
16.
And they were asking me who I wanted to work with and who I wanted to write with.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like maybe there was more talented people than me
making those judgments.
Maybe there should have been.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have got Max Martin involved. Maybe we should have got somebody else involved to kind of push it through. But looking back on it now, it was, like I said, it was the most excruciating, best learning curve I could have ever had. Wow. Because I came back to Ireland with, we got dropped by the label.
Yeah.
That's not a fun thing to tell your parents or
tell
your friends.
Did you move back in with your parents?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, moved back in with my parents, back to Ireland. And then we were trying to figure out, right, we're back at zero again.
Yeah.
So
it was still Mark and you. You were convinced that together you can make it.
Convinced, yeah. We at that point we thought Savage Garden were a thing. They were like, it was a singer and a producer. And,
what was their song at the time?
I wanna lay with you on a mountain. I wanna stay with you in the sea.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, beautiful song.
Yes.
So we were like, well, maybe we could do that.
Yeah.
So we kind of started to do that, and at the same time we were trying to figure out how to make ends meet. So we moved. At the time, Mark knew from our travels. He had known this girl called Rena, who ended up becoming his wife. But we met her out on tour. They were managed by Johnny Wright. She was in a group, and then we ended up going to Orlando. And while we were in Orlando, we used to hang down in where Johnny Wright's place was.
Yeah.
Johnny Wright, for those of you at home, Johnny Wright was managing the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears, like a who's who.
He was God at the time.
God,
jetting around in his own jet, and
So I got the chance to go to the compound, the studio, where all the bands.
Was that transatlantic? Transcontinental.
Yeah,
that's right. I went there too once.
Yeah. So there was two. There was Johnny Wright, who was managing everybody, and then there was Lou Pearlman, who was the kind of money behind. He was Transcon Records.
Yeah.
So both of them were they were just the lords at the time. So we thought, well, we'll stay here for a little while. We were working on Rena's album, and we started doing remixes, and Craig David was huge back home. Like he'd done all this kind of two-step.
Yeah.
Which
America
American two-step.
Totally didn't understand. Craig David had one number one here, the second, the third. And I think America was Atlantic Records. I spoke with them about it. They were trying to get him to America.
Yeah.
And the deal with every single number one he had, the deal suddenly was more and more and more, and they couldn't keep up with it. He's got more expensive. But then finally they signed him, and then they remixed all the two-step down to halftime.
To try and be American.
To R&B. And that was the end of it.
Yeah.
It didn't work. It was...
So the Artful Dodger is the production crew who were behind that.
Oh.
And we ended up, because we got all their samples.
Yeah.
So while we were in America, we were kind of gallivanting around like, oh, yeah, we do like the Artful Dodger, we're doing this kind of, we were bullshitting, it's being like, yeah, we do a lot of two-step remixes. So someone had said like, oh, here's a song Justin Timberlake wrote called Gone. I've been sitting here, can't get you off my mind. I try my best to be a man and be strong. Do you know that song?
No.
Oh, it's a beautiful song.
Yeah, I like how you sing it.
And so we took it on and remixed it.
Yeah.
And the label went nuts over it. So they released the remix, and Jive were like, who are those writers? Who are those writers and producers? And at the time we'd spent a little bit of time with them, two producers in particular called Rip Rock and Alex G.
Yeah.
And they'd done 10 songs on No Strings Attached album for NSYNC.
Wow.
So I'd done a little bit of vocal production on the records and helped out and make whatever I can do, playing guitar on a song to playing a bass on it, whatever. And I'd gotten in the studio with them, started to write with them. So it just felt like they then ushered me into the studio. So then I'm in the studio with with the likes of with Jive, and they signed me, and the kind of rest was history really. We then kind of went on like and you know what it's like being a writer. You'll have like massive success, so you get a cut, and you're like, that's it. But then you don't get paid for another 4 months or 5 months, or nobody comes through the door. So it was always like big win, and then try and make that money stretch until the next win.
How long was that period?
8 years, 9 years. You know, so we would have. When the band finished, I was a washed up pop star by 19 years old, and then moved to America at 20.
Oh, okay.
I kind of lived in America for like maybe since I was 17.
Was that New York or LA or
both? Actually, New York for about 4 months, and then LA in Venice Beach. I lived there.
Orlando was where the Transcontinental studio headquarters was, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The one time I was working there, it was crazy. The sound engineer ordered a coffee, placed it on this massive, 96 fader SSL console.
Yeah.
Looked this way and then put the arm like this, and the whole coffee spilled over the entire console. And that was the end of it. They had to take this whole thing apart.
Oh my! The place was.
That's the end of the session.
The place was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
This for another podcast. Yeah, but the place was crazy. But we just cut our teeth. Like, for every success that they had 10 other bands that weren't successful. So we had like, here's the next new girl group, and we're in there writing. You're writing for months and months, and you do all their demos, and then they finally have a showcase, and no one wants to sign them. Everything's flushed down the toilet.
Like a factory,
proper factory. I guess we were some of the cogs in the wheel of the factory, of like just constantly trying to write to stay there.
And there were many of you, and you were competing in-house to be the ones, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's 4 or 5 different houses.
Yeah.
Like, just like kind of you have your production teams that you like send them on, and basically whoever's the best wins. And I think it's healthy. It's kind of healthy competition in a way. But, back then when we're all kids, we were all doing it for nothing really, unless you got signed. So I signed a publishing deal at the time that I only just got out of a few years ago.
No.
Yeah. That the terms in it were just...
Deals shouldn't be longer than 5 years by law. They should just end them.
I think I came along... I signed mine about 20... God, it would have been 24 years, 25 years ago.
That's unreal.
It had stuff like, okay, you got to have a number one in the country, or 4 number ones in a country... Sorry, 4 songs that achieve platinum status in a country where platinum is equal to 1 million records. Now, I'm a co-writer.
That's insane.
It's insane. It's just basically so you...
And then they only count half your song because you're a co-writer or so.
Yeah, exactly.
That's absolutely insane.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes there's 6 people on a song. So so how many does that incrementally mean that I have to do? So
I didn't know. Illegal, those deals.
At the time, I needed the money. And that's where they get you. And that's where they get everybody, is because you need the money.
Yeah, and then they recoup with so much margin on top of that.
Yeah. So, but it led me to... to all the different opportunities that I had. Yeah. And then so that period was, I spent maybe 4 years of that in Orlando. And then I kind of dried up all the work that there was in Orlando. Yeah. You'd done done all the bands and the rappers, and started a label, you'd signed acts, try to get them signed, all this kind of stuff. So you know what it's like, man, when you're on the grind, you're just doing everything. Like, I was playing guitar on a TLC song. Yeah. One day, Rodney Jerkins, a friend of mine, needed a player. Yeah. So I went down, I'm like playing like for $150, just going to do like a 3-hour guitar session. Yeah. And I didn't hear what the track was, but then later on I got news. It's like, have you heard that track, where it is? I was like, what? So it got sent to me, and it was TLC.
Amazing.
Singing over the top of it. It was a song called Turntable, which was for Lisa Left Eye Lopez. It was their tribute song. Wow. After she passed away. And I didn't get any credit for it. I just got the 150 quid. That was it. And I was like, It was one of my biggest things. I think I got a credit on the album, and they misspelled my name as well. It was Donnie Danahue. Something like that.
So let's go to the moment when Mark and you decided to form The Script. What was how did the name come about?
So we, after Orlando, we then dried up all the work. We moved to LA, and that was, I guess that was the real catalyst, because I was in LA. I was thinking, I don't know how long I can do this for, writing songs and emotions and having stuff inside me that I'm just giving away to other people.
Yeah, and you're a singer, so this could all be for you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was kind of resided to that fact that maybe I would never perform again or sing again, but also I still had this thing inside me, which was I just feel like I could do a better job than half of the people I have in the studio.
So now you were like 25 or how old?
Yeah, I was about 26.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said to Mark, I was like, look, I just feel like there's still wind in the sails here. I still feel like there's something to come of this. So he was like, right, let's do something with it. What do you want to do? So he was like originally kind of managing, we're obviously a production team and songwriters together. But he's like, well, look, I'll try and work the contacts. Why don't we put together a demo of some of the songs and we'll get it around. At the time, a small label, Phonogenic, was starting with Steve Kipner and Andrew Frampton.
I love these two guys.
Yeah, they're great guys. So Andrew and Steve, Steve goes all the way back to like Olivia Newton-John.
Yes.
You know, like Let's Get Physical.
Let's get physical.
Like
physical.
The 7th biggest song of all time, that song is. I'm like, wow, it's ridiculous.
That was Terry Shattuck and Steve Kipner.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so he's had like, big hits in each decade, like Genie in a Bottle and, Chicago. He wrote for Chicago.
Crazy.
And he was like kind of David Foster's go-to guy for a long time.
He's also been
well.
loyal to one publisher all his life and renegotiated and re-signed with the same with EMI. Like,
yeah, all the way through. God bless him, man. He's amazing. So they had started a label called Phonogenic, and they just had a big hit with Natasha Bedingfield.
Yes, Unwritten.
Unwritten. So they got money from the label to say like sign more acts.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we were working on my solo record. Which that's what it was going to be. It was just going to be me, my name, or whatever.
Yeah.
And we recorded the songs. We sent them. Mark sent them to Steve, and then Steve, because we'd used real instruments.
Yeah.
Like we played with electric guitars, drums, actual live drums, and then we played them to Steve. Steve thought naturally it was a band because he's just going through different songs and who am I going to sign, this guy or that guy or whatever. And he heard, oh, it's a band. This could be good because we got a solo girl. We got two solo guys. They signed at the time. A guy called Ross Copperman. They signed at the time, who was kind of our label competition. His record didn't make it, but he's got like 30 number ones in country music right now. He's like the most celebrated writer there.
Wow.
So it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But we were in with some heavy competition, and then they signed us. They came down to this really shitty place where we'd been living. I've been living on a friend's couch.
Wow.
And we just...
How long were you couch surfing?
Say 2 years maybe.
Wow.
I was couch surfing for 2 years.
So from the $1 million deals to moving in with your parents again, then to a lot of hopes with Transcontinental.
Transcon kind of working out, and then
back to the couch.
Then I moved to LA. I moved into an apartment. I had to move out because I didn't have enough money.
Wow.
Then I was couch surfing.
Talk about struggle.
Yeah, then I was couch surfing, and then a good friend of mine, Mike Tucker, allowed me to kind of like sleep on his couch, use his there was a place called...
For 2 years?
Yeah, pretty much 2 years we were there. When I say it was a like futon couch.
So you were broke?
I smashed, yeah. Living on the kindness of others, pretty much.
And food?
Food wise, yeah. There was 1 week I remember all I had was enough money for a Subway each day. So I'd go to Subway, get whatever it was, have half of it for my lunch, the other half for dinner, and then nothing till the next day. I remember, that was pretty tough. And I remember one time Mark and Rena, I wasn't eating for probably about 2 or 3 days, and they went out of their way they went and bought shopping for me and drove shopping over to me. So I was like eternally grateful for them for that. But that's what you do, man. When I kind of look back on it now, and you look back on it in those really tough, hard times. Yeah, it's the love of what you do that gets you through it.
And you never worked another job, right? It was always music. Right?
Always music. Yeah.
And you just couldn't imagine.
No, I couldn't. Yeah. I couldn't imagine it because that's just the end of my knowledge. Is
I can totally relate to that.
Where music finishes is like what's past that.
Yes,
it's ridiculous to say it, but I don't. Is life worth? I've asked myself, is life worth living without music? Like that's how much it affects me. I think honestly, it's something to do with growing up You know, I've been in therapy for years over and trying to figure out, why does music mean so much to me? And it does stem from something you didn't get as a kid, or you didn't get as a child. And that music is, it never does, it's like a pet. It doesn't talk back to you. It's always there for you when you need it.
What didn't you get as a child?
You know, everyone has struggles growing up, man. Mm-hmm. Everyone has, you know, struggles, issues with parents. And I grew up in Ireland back in the 80s, where every household was a party, you know. So my dad was a very successful musician, but then also Friday, Saturday, Sunday, everyone's back from the pub. So it was like, because I used to sleep in the downstairs on the mattress on the ground, in the rock and roll room, they call it. So there was the piano in the corner, bass, guitar, sometimes there'd be a drums on a Saturday, but there was just writing on the walls for nearly 20 years. So you know when you're backstage at a gig or a show, and there's just nothing but writing and all this kind of stuff on the walls, and you know, notes and messages. I feel the most at home when I'm at backstage at a gig, because it just reminds me of my bedroom. So we had, you know, mum and dad go over to the pub, come back, bring 30 people over, and then that's it, you're the entertainment. So he'd be up till 4 or 5 in the morning playing
you couldn't
piano,
sleep. You were trying
whiskey.
to catch sleep, right?
Nah, you were entertaining guests at that point. Do you know what I mean? You're
like,
you
had to go to school
get up and do
day.
your routine, and you'd go to school wrecked, tired.
Wow.
You know, no lunch, that kind of like stuff that you, or just giving money, I'll go buy your lunch or whatever. You're just like, I just remember falling. Most of the time I was in school, I was asleep or
I can
tired.
relate to that too.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Looking back, it's fun. It turned into like a therapy session. But later on in life, I've been diagnosed. It was only last year I was diagnosed with dyslexia. So I'm dyslexic, and that on top of maybe not getting my night's sleep and all this kind of stuff just created this havoc area where dyslexia is like, if you can't learn something there and then, it feels like you're stupid, and it feels like I'm letting people down. And a lot of times in school, people with dyslexia, they just need to give themselves, it's not like they can't learn, because I'm very proficient in other ways. It's just that I need to give myself allocate the right amount of time so I don't get anxious. And I just probably never had that.
Or there's some things that some people cannot learn. Like for me, names, it's so difficult to remember names. I need to hear it 10 times and have an adventure with someone before that name sticks.
There's something that needs to happen in order for it to go in. But throughout all of that, I always felt like, you know, it's not necessarily that I was bullied or whatever. I had like certain incidences when I was younger. I've got a disease called Wilson's disease.
What's that?
Which is it's a metabolic disorder. So I've got like too much copper in my blood, which if it was undiagnosed would kill me. So it's highly poisonous. You know, if you have a buildup of copper, my sister has it in her brain, and it has all of the hallmarks of multiple sclerosis. Oh no. Yeah, which is it's devastating.
Is that from environmental toxins, or is that naturally occurring?
Environmental toxins, yeah. So you have enough copper in your blood naturally, but you need an enzyme to be able to take it out. Yeah. And so I need to take tablets in order to flush it all out. Okay. But so if I'm, you know, mushrooms are high in copper, chocolate's high in copper. Okay. Beer, believe it or not, because it's made in a copper vat.
And that in Ireland.
Do you know what I'm saying? That in Ireland, no beer in Ireland, you know, you're not getting away with it, you know.
You've got the Guinness.
Yeah, exactly.
Were there songs that impacted you when you were a child? I mean, of course, your whole family was having hit songs, but what was kind of the music that inspired you the most around that time?
Do you know, I guess the stuff that I used to listen to, it's weird because I didn't have a genre, as so to speak. I used to listen to singer-songwriters a lot. James Taylor, I listened to him a lot. Copper Line, New Moonshine, those albums. That was probably the reason why I picked up a guitar, was James Taylor.
What was like the song that would make you happy at the time?
Take on Me, Aha.
Yes, I love that one.
Yeah.
And what was the song that would make you cry at the time?
Oh, that would make me cry. Oof. A song called Frozen Man by James Taylor. God Have Mercy on the Frozen Man. Wow. It was this beautiful song about a guy who falls off a ship and he gets frozen, and they bring him back.
Yeah.
And they unfreeze him, and they kind of it's so on par for today, but they unfreeze him, and he goes and he goes to a grave, and it seems so strange that his wife and his daughter have died of extreme old age, and he's there to live through all of it, chronology of what you would meet if you were around forever. So all your friends are dead and gone, all of the things that you know and love, and it's kind of I guess even at that age I just kind of went into it like a bit deeper of the understanding of that song. I used to absolutely love it. But sorry, I was trying to get to the point of, well, when I was diagnosed with that disease, it might as well have been, you might as well have told all my friends I had AIDS. Oh, wow. Because they just felt like, I can catch it from him, you need to stay away from him.
It's not contagious.
It's not at all, no. It's metabolic, it's genetic.
So you wish you'd never told them?
Well, yeah, I wish I never had it. It probably even worse is like,
how did it manifest? How did you see that you had it? The symptoms?
Well, the symptoms with my sister were that she looked like she had multiple, her hands kind of turn in.
Oh no.
Her speech, it's a motor neuron disease, so it's...
Wow, it's that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty, you lose a lot of speech unless you take the tablets, and then maybe over the course of about 6 months to a year, she then started to regain speech and movement, full movement. She was bedridden for a long time. Wow. She lost all of her friends as well. But I remember that period of, I was like 13 or 14 when it happened, and it would have been, I think it was probably a very dramatic time for it to happen because you're just coming of age, almost coming online really. So for me to have that, I need confidence, but now my confidence is totally gone because everybody feels like I'm at a deficit or something. Well, I'm already feeling that way myself because, now I've been told I'm different to everybody. Yeah. They're affirming the fact that I'm different to everybody. Yeah. I got I had a disabled bus pass as well. Wow. Because this class is disability. So I was going to school on a disabled bus pass and living a life like I was disabled at a very, very young age. So for me, I lost a lot of my friends, the people that I would class as really close. But in doing so, I was so fucking angry at the world. I was angry at them. I was angry at things that would happen to me during the day. Like trying to, I knew someone was hungry and you're offering them food, but then they kind of go to take it and they're like, and then they think different of it because they feel like they'll catch something off your packet of biscuits or something. And it was devastating for me. So I didn't know how to deal with it. So I went into a room and I sang as fucking hard and as loud as I possibly could. So I was using all of these things. If I was getting bullied, if I was getting pushed around, whatever, I would never fight back. And I always felt like a bitch for not fighting back. But I also used to go into a room and I would channel that anger and all of that into fucking trying to hit a higher note, trying to get that phrase I couldn't get, slamming piano, just for hours and just, trying to get all that pain out. So I had a very, I guess, a good relationship of, I see my father at nighttime bashing it out on a piano and making grown men cry. I've seen myself and felt the benefits of hitting a piano or screaming loud or even screaming in tune, because singing is really just crying in tune in a way, the letting out of your gut and your feeling. So I feel like all of that music at that time, music was not when I say, music everything to me. It was my everything. I would die for music because it was your
punching bag, it was your pillow to cry on. It was
never spoke bad to me, never talked back, and never bullied me. It was always there when I wanted it, always there when I needed it. Still is the only constant that I've had in my life that has never tried to cheat on me or has never said it in bad. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so weird. So I genuinely feel like it's an energy. It's something that has been beside me.
And
like
now you're
water.
On a stage where you have 100,000 people singing back to you and experiencing that with you. And
that's
how powerful that is.
It's super powerful. The feedback loop that I've found with the script is that I was always searching to say my piece. I always just wanted to this is how I feel. This is all I've ever wanted to do. Say, this is how I feel. And in doing so, the honesty and the truth coming out
Yeah.
When you're on stage and you see people singing it back, I mean, it's record sales is probably one indication.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, this is resonating, but you don't know who it's with or whatever. But when you're on stage looking at people with the same, you see the same look in your face, same fucking tears are in their eyes, and you're both having a moment looking at each other going, I don't know you, we don't even speak the same language, but we are the same person.
Yeah, a revolution of sorts.
Oh, huge, you know, so yeah, I'm a true hippie in that way. Music can change the world.
Yes.
Because it changed my world. Do you know what I mean? If it's something as simple as me getting it out, I'm a huge advocate. Obviously, some people can't always use music as their punching bag. Maybe they're not proficient in it, or just like names they can't get their head around.
Maybe just not to that degree, but in their own way, it resonates with them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and the beautiful thing about music, which I always think is crazy, is you don't need to be able to create it in order to understand it, which is fascinating to me. That, you know, as beautiful as a symphony or a Beethoven symphony is, the framework for that to exist in my head is already there. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to hear it. Yeah. So all of that beauty and all of those things of like even All of Me and all of those songs, the framework for that is already in my head enough for you to, when it goes in, it lays right on top of it, and I go, it's like a golden key or something. It's like this, you know, we're all archaeologists trying to uncover stuff that's already there, and when you do, we all know it.
I remember how visual you are. That's so great.
That's why I see it. Yeah. I see music in that way. I pulled the car over listening to All of Me. I was like, like I had, like, you know, the way you get weak in the knees and you just like you well up, because it's like, yes, that's a truth that I've been trying to find. So at least someone else got it. Yes. Do you know what I mean? It was there. I know it's there because I recognize all the signs. It's got the mark of the beast in it. It's got everything in it. It's got a piece of me in it. It's a piece of you in it. It's a piece of the world in it. And you all look at that one thing and go, wow. And obviously with the success of a song like that, or If I Were a Boy and all these songs, that you see, when you get something, the whole world looks from every angle, they all go, you're onto something magic.
We've gone totally off script. Let's go back to the
whatever.
script.
I'm just kind
of.
So
how did the script how did the name come about? Did you?
That was the question, wasn't it?
That was the question. Very long answer. Yeah. So did you write down 500 names and then pick the ones that?
Yeah. Pretty much, it was the one that we least.
What were the other names
we least laughed at the most? Yeah. Scripture was another one.
That's great.
Rapture was another. Mark, at the time, to be honest, Mark was very good at naming things. You know, he was a brilliant lyricist and a nice little wordsmith. And something that we'd always said was, what's the story? Or what's the script in the band? It was like this thing back in Ireland. You're like, how's it going? What's the story? Yeah. Because there's always a story. Like when you meet somebody, it's your life is entirely led by narratives, and you'll never guess what happened to me this morning, and just stories. Yeah. Looking back on it, it was a great name because it's exactly what the script is. The script are storytellers, and the script is there's a beginning, there's an end, there's an arc of a story, and I just felt like it just seems to be the perfect name. Yeah,
you also mentioned at some point that the music isn't too far from country music.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one else really has noticed it. That if you strip it back to its fundamentals, the script are very country. You know, there's a guy in the story, there's a girl in the story, there's somewhere where they're trying to reach, there's maybe they're, you know, living in the gutter but they're looking at the stars. There's always a plot and a twist and a turn.
You could re-record your greatest script hits as a country album.
Yeah, and also it lends very well to a stage play. Because you can kind of go, oh well, they link up that story of that's how they got together, that's when they broke up, that's when they felt euphoric, there's a lot of that in it.
So when you founded the script, that was the year 2001?
No, the script was 2000, would have been at the end of LA, so it would have been summer 2006.
2006.
Yeah, and then we got signed by 2007
to Andrew Frampton and Steve Kipner.
Andrew Frampton, Steve Kipner, and then we went. At that time, Mark's mother got ill, and she was terminally ill.
Oh no!
And then so we moved back to Ireland. Well, he moved back to Ireland, and I thought it was appropriate to be around him to support.
Wow!
So we moved back to Mark's mum's house. I moved back to my parents' house, and Mark moved in with his mum.
Yeah.
And his mum was around there's a place called James's Street Hospital. But in the meantime, we got the money we made from the record, built a little studio outside in his back garden, and then we pretty much recorded the first album there. So
and Mark and you wrote the whole album.
Me and Mark and we had a few other co-writers. Glenn was involved in some of the songs.
Glenn is one of the
drummer, yeah.
Drummer, okay.
He was involved in one or two of the songs. Andrew and Steve,
yes.
We wrote Breakeven and Man Who With. And there was another writer, Tony McGuinness, who was in a band called Aslan. We wrote a song together called If You CK.
So the Man Who Can't Be Moved, tell me like the origin of this song. How did it start? What was the first thing?
Do you know, it was mad. That song came along. We already had the album done. It was finished.
Wow. The last song.
Yeah, it was one of those like let's give it a good push.
Yeah.
And the guys that left the studio, me and Mark were just working on ideas over the weekend.
Yeah. And
I wrote that guitar riff. He kind of was looking around for beats, and I was like on an Apple loop. Was that beat?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was being used in a lot. Rihanna, Umbrella.
Yes.
A lot of these songs. So we thought that was kind of like, well, that's current because that's the number one right now. So that'll be cool. Yeah. It's also royalty free, so we don't have to pay anybody if you get caught. But the guitar riff, I wrote the riff, and it was just it's a really simple circular 4-chord riff, which is mainly what the script are, is like kind of Chili Peppers, these circular riffs that just work around on themselves. And we had the track, and then Steve and Andrew came in on the Monday. They loved the idea that we had, and we just started to get to write about. We wanted to write a song about. We just watched Forrest Gump.
Yes, genius movie. One of my all-time favorite movies ever.
I think it's up there. It's that one maybe and Gladiator are my two favorite movies.
Yes,
for very different reasons. But Forrest Gump was. We were just trying to imagine this story because at the time there had been a lot of complicated songs about love and what you do and buying your way back in and stuff. And I was like, well, what would Forrest do for Jenny? Wow. What would he do that would be like that Notebook moment where they're not together anymore and she's died, but he's gone and he fucking built the house that they always said they were going to do. Like that, like, beautiful moment.
Yes.
So we just came up with this story of like this guy who goes back to the corner where he first met his ex-girlfriend. Yeah. And he's just going to sit and wait because that's what Forrest would do. Yeah. He's just going to sit and wait for Jenny. Yeah. And maybe the police come along. The thing. So it was kind of just sitting around talking about like, what if there was this thing? And then I remember Steve started scatting the going by the corner. And it was kind of like Bruce Springsteen style Streets of Philadelphia vibes. And we're just like hair in the back of the neck. I was like, that's it. Like, this is the vibe. Right, cool. So we started to really quickly write down the verse. Like, okay, what's he done now? Yeah. He's got holes in his pocket, but he's not a broken hearted man. Like all these things.
That song is like a movie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was written as that. It was to be as
the sequel of Forrest Gump.
Basically, yeah. Except Tom Hanks, you're not getting the royalties if you're watching this. You're not in on the writing. So it was really wrote from that kind of an aspect of.
And then that title, who came up with the title?
The Man Who Can't Be Moved. God, I think it was Steve.
Steve's a little genius, right?
Yeah.
I love that guy so much.
I think it was Steve. I remember we had, the verses were done and they were looking for a chorus. And then we had one, like it was like, because if one day you're there and I was like, nah, like what would Sting do? And I was like, because if one day you wake up and find that you're missing me and your heart starts to wonder where. So I started like put on the backbeat on the chorus. Yeah. And it was just like, we're like, oh, you got the feeling like, oh shit. And then because I was a huge fan of Daniel Bedingfield. Is there any way that I could stay in your arms? That song, and also She Will Be Loved. And both of them have a pinnacle of a high note at the end of the chorus.
Yes.
So I'd been trying that a few times in some songs. Breakeven was a perfect example of how it worked really well. And I just felt we need what I thought was going to be the title, which was I'm Not Moving. Because we were like, well, what is it going to do? Well, I'm not moving. I'm not moving, no. And that was that moment of like, that's what Forrest would do. He's like, I don't give a shit, hell or high water.
Yeah.
I'm not moving from here. So I thought I had it then. And then I think Steve was like, came in with his like, you know, why don't we call it The Invisible Man? Like, fuck, what? Oh, you what? Like, you know, why don't we call it Genie in a Bottle? Oh, no. What? You know, one of those kind of moments you're like, yeah, dude, let's go. You know, so The Man Who Can't Be Moved, which just gave... In fairness, the American label still wanted to call it I'm Not Moving.
No.
Because that's the catchy part. They also wanted to call Breakeven Falling to Pieces.
No.
No. Can you think of that now?
Yeah.
Like, so, you know the song Falling to Pieces?
Yeah.
Because they just want to go with like the bit that everybody's going to go, the Falling to Pieces. Yeah. So
what do you think in America, just generalizing, the easiest way wins, and in Europe it's more like, or in England it's more like the most lyrical or the more complicated, we can make an effort way wins.
You have to like you have to make them work for it, you know what I mean, as opposed to like hit them over the head, you know? Yeah, 100%, yeah.
So For the First Time is another song that deeply impacted me. Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah, I got back to, we just did the first record, and then we're on the difficult second album, and which for us is kind of, it was like our 10th album because we've been writing for so many times.
Yes, and that's what people forget. Like REM, I think their biggest breakthrough record when people noticed, oh, this group exists, was like their 10th album or 9th album.
Yeah. Think about that, you know. Yeah. I'm on my 8th album now, so hopefully I could still get to that level. But I got back to Dublin from touring the world. I'd been massively successful. And this time it was real. This time I had a #1 album in my hand, so it wasn't like my town. So I felt
you didn't have to move back to Ireland to your parents' house.
Yeah, I didn't have that bullshit
room with all the writing on the wall anymore.
No, but I'd still go back there all the time, you know. But I didn't have to move there. It was my choice.
Yeah,
not my only option.
It makes all the difference.
Yeah, totally. And then I got back home and I wanted to show off.
Yeah,
I've got money now and all this kind of stuff, and I was faced with a very rough time, whereas Ireland was going through the Depression.
Yeah,
and we had the Celtic Tiger, and then it just went at the bottom fell out.
Can you explain that Celtic Tiger?
Yeah, the Celtic Tiger was basically like a really important time in Ireland where it was just so fruitful for you to be Irish, that it was like the economy was doing great, the government were doing well, everybody had a lot of money, so there was buildings being built, houses going everywhere, people had 2 cars. My sister, you know, she had an apartment, she moving into a house, they had a Range Rover and another car and stuff. But when I got home, they had basically over the course of a year had lost it all. Because
what triggered that?
Oh, it's just the financial crisis of 2008 really. So it was all of the banks over borrowing, and then they needed the money back in as soon as possible, and just this big giant crash that happened.
Were those the global banks already situated in Ireland and Dublin?
Yeah, we're at the mercy.
Because Dublin was like a tax haven, probably still is, right? And I went to Dublin and I see all the big headquarters of all the big American companies are there, so not to pay taxes.
Yeah, so that's good now because the government over there, they do allow for these things, but they don't distribute the money very well back to the people. So they don't tax the big companies, but they do tax the little people.
Crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, they do have artists. They used to have artist exemption, which was up to £250,000. An artist doesn't get taxed, so it's to, you know, promote the arts in Ireland.
That's good.
But like I said, back in the financial crisis, everybody's kind of like, you know, her husband at the time was a builder, had borrowed so much money from the banks. Now the banks, you know, were foreclosing on the loans and all this stuff and want the money back, and they weren't able to pay it. And then because it's drying up on the ground, they were losing so much money. So like that was just one example of they had kids, but now they're losing their house, they're losing their car, they're losing their second car. And I was just faced by this thing. But I just remember thinking, we're not a good people with money. Ireland I always felt we're better when we didn't have much money, but we were always being super positive about the future.
You have solidarity and you have camaraderie and identity, a strong, very strong identity.
You also know what you're working towards, and there's that really unifies a nation. It can, but I thought we were getting very greedy and very spoilt, and all of the trimmings that happen when you give people a lot of money too soon.
The fall of the empire.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So I just noticed, I was imagining this story. Mark, we had the track from a session we did in Bob Clearmountain's place in LA, and it was just a piano riff.
Which I must say just burned down in
I
the
know,
fires.
yeah, it's awful. Awful. We have great memories of recording up there. We did some of the second album there as well.
Yeah.
But we had this one little tape, and it was Mark. It was just Mark. It was me playing piano. It was Mark just going, "She's all laid up in bed with a broken heart," and then nothing. And then there was another few lyrics he'd scattered on it. But I was in the studio in Dublin, and I was just thinking about my sister's situation of, well, they met during they both had money, and what a strange feeling to be losing that money, and then you're sitting there, you've got nothing in the house, and you're only really meeting each other for the first time, because this is the first time you've ever had any adversity to try and get through, and that's when you really know somebody.
Yes,
is when you go through something really fucking hard.
Yes,
that neither of you seen, and you're both embarrassed about. It's a really tough thing to do.
Yeah.
So I felt at that time it was just an idea I was having of like, well, what are we gonna do? Because you're fucked, I'm fucked. What can we do now but sit here drinking old cheap bottles of wine, sit talking up all night?
Not shit talking, sit talking.
Sit talking, yeah. We're laughing, but we're close to tears.
Those lines are
years.
so genius. They're so good. There's
Thanks,
so much
man.
emotion in there, and it draws you into a movie scene. It's so incredible.
So Mark had the verse, and then that part I wrote after I talked to my sister. Really, I went into the studio. I was in the studio on my own, and I laid down what would have been the kind of blueprint of that song. But the drinking old cheap bottles of wine, shit talking up all night, all that was done in the studio, in a place called Ringsend Road. Whereas I just went in, as like quick smoke. Went in, I just kind of laid it down.
Yeah.
And I played it to Mark, and he just went, "Well, that's done." Well, that feels like a pre to me. What's the chorus?
Ah, that's the chorus.
yeah, basically. And I was like, because I'm normally good at it, but it's such a long pre, and it's so melodically, memorable that, well, what do you do after that? And I was like, well, what else is there to say? Yeah. And he said, nothing. I was like, well, why not just fucking give it a gut, like an ethereal ooh. So and then that's when we came up with the ooh.
Oh, so good.
Which at the time just felt like a release. Go back to 10 years ago when I'd lost my friends and I got into a room and I just
like the great songs of you too. It brings me right there.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thanks. It's like sometimes you don't need to say words.
True.
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's just hearing the sound of somebody hurting.
Yeah.
Can do it.
Yeah.
And then there's the part at the end of the song, which is the "Oh, these times are hard," which, funny enough, like the "Oh, these times are hard, yeah, they're making us crazy, don't give up on me, baby."
Yeah.
As soon as that came in, the label were like, "That's the chorus. Put that there. Put that as the chorus now." I was like, "No, that's a coda."
Yeah,
that's
don't listen to the labels.
Never listen to the labels.
A&R stands for always wrong.
yeah, 100%. So we kept it at the end, and I think it's a bit of genius because just when you think the song's juiced out, that part comes in.
Oh, it's so epic.
Kicks it into overdrive.
Anthem. Love it.
And that melody came about because I'd been on tour. And I'd heard the type of melody that crowds like to sing.
It's like the stadium
Lights
moment.
will guide 100%. You home.
Yes.
Everybody loves to do a lovely sweeping up or down, which is kind of went into the thinking of that. Like, I knew for a fact I'd be on stage singing this song, and I knew for a fact we need something that everybody could sing the part of, which is the "Oh, these times are hard."
The unifier.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Breakeven.
That was similar scenario. We wrote it in LA. We started the track in London in what's it called? Olympic Studios. It's no longer there now. But Olympic, we wrote a lot of those songs in Olympic. came from the same session that me and Mark were like, the album's finished.
Yeah.
We need a few more. We need to keep pushing this.
Yes.
So we went into the studio. I was doing a lot of kind of Chili Pepper stuff at the time.
Yeah.
Like songs like We Cry, like they're just kind of Chili Pepper riffs in a way, or what I would imagine they would play. And I just thought, well, why don't we do something cool? Why don't we get a bass? So I got a bass and I cap out the bass halfway up the fret.
Yeah.
And I just started to do some circular kind of riffs on it.
Yeah.
And I came up with the Breakeven riff. We laid it down. I laid like this kind of like two finger like broom broom. It's kind of like the standing in line at the show tonight under the marquee. I was kind of playing that kind of vibe, but over a different beat. And we ended up with those two bass parts really complementing. It sounded like more like a baritone guitar. So it was just like we were just sitting there funking out over this, going, "This is amazing." And Mark said he had this lyric.
Yeah.
And he's like, when a heart breaks, it don't break even. And I was like, oh, okay.
Fuck. I mean, you say that one sentence and you're like,
yeah, Eureka!
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so, the Eureka moment. So when I'm there with him, I know I know when he's putting out the good ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was like, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
I was like, fucking hell. Like, what have you got already? Like, you know, because you're sickened. Like, what have you got already for it? He's like, I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. I just pray to a God that I don't believe in, because I got time and she got freedom. Because when a heart break, it don't break even.
Fuck.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Let me do the second one then. Let me do the second one.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Like, just go away. Shut up.
So good.
So good.
That's like as good as songwriting can get.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, and because I've looked at it since, and we're just writing it. We're just young writing songs.
Yeah.
But the symmetry in it. Still alive, barely breathing. Pray to a God that I don't believe in.
That sentence in itself
opens
a whole new chapter.
Yeah. And then I got time, or she got freedom.
Oh my God.
All of them are opposites.
Yeah.
The whole way along.
Each of them are chapters.
Yeah, and then the setup.
Yeah.
Well, I got freedom. What? Because when a heart breaks, it don't break even. It's
and
shaving, a haircut,
fuck yeah.
2 bits. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, you got it. So we
amazing.
And the hard part about that is, which you'll know, is when you get a really good part, what's the next bit? That's the hardest. It's like, well, then is that the chorus, and then how do we lead up to that or whatever? So we kind of needed, I guess, bigger hands to kind of help us the heavy lifting on it. So we were like, we've got this genius idea, we just want to complete it. So we were at a session with Steve and Andrew again, and then brought it to them. We were in Steve's place in Topanga, and we played it to him. Same thing, as like, whoa, like this is magic.
Yeah.
And then I was watching, I think it was Love Actually, or one of these kind of
movie.
Bro, rom-coms get me, because there's a line in it, I'm like, they don't realise what they fucking just said. Like, let me write it down. Like, I know how to song-wise get to that point, and you'll never know. Do you know what I mean? Like that, it's the same concept or same idea, because it's all just love at the end of the day.
Yeah. That was Hugh Grant and Annie McDowell?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so there's a part in it where, I can't remember what exactly he said. It was like, we're at the door and he's opening it. He's like, the greatest thing that is about me has always been you. And I was like,
wow.
I was like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to say when I'm all choked up here? I just wrote that part down. I was like, got it. Yes. I think I got the answer to the other part of that.
Yeah.
And then we kind of hashed it out in the room and just all kind of added our bits in and whatever. And it was, it's just that eureka moment of, I think we got something really special here again. And then because we were in that same frame of mind of the penultimate, whatever the idea was, whatever you're doing as a post, is just one word or one syllable, and you hang on that note or 2 or 3 notes.
Yeah.
I mean, in the early script stuff, that's kind of what it all was. Yeah, fall into pieces. Fall into pieces.
So good.
That part there. So that's the kind of the apex of it. So the shape of all of our songs normally goes melodically. It goes along here, then there's the bridge, then the chorus is here, then the very end there's a high note, and that's kind of the start of the ship.
Yeah.
Is there's the bow, there's the cabin, and then there's the fucking sail. Yeah. And then it goes down for the second verse. Yeah. Same thing again in the second. Yeah. So the shape. And then
after the third chorus, something happens still.
Yeah. As a third chorus.
Yeah.
Well, after the second chorus, then middle 8, and then after
chorus
the third
and then
chorus,
the
there's
vamp,
normally a
then
coda.
the unifier.
There's a unifier. There's something that we've already done previously that will re-engage.
These days, songs are so short, and it's always this debate when you write a song. Should it be a 2-minute song so people stream it more often?
Yeah.
Or do you want to reward people for having listened for 2 minutes and now you give them a bridge, and then they listen to a chorus, and then you give them this unifying vamp post-hook thing that even takes it to another level.
It's tough, man. It's tough to know what it should be, because I'm like we're writing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the fact that movies are now 3.5 hours and 4 hours long, because I loved it when they were an hour and 15, 20 minutes or whatever. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And then songs are getting shorter, but I loved it when there was a middle eight in it. And I think there's something structurally sound about you need to hear something 3 times in order for it to go in, because that's the way we've always
a lot of choruses now are 2 times.
Which sucks. To me, it sucks, because I don't know if I'm able to get the full story in that amount of time. I get it, like, you know, when you're on TikTok and you're just going through stuff.
Yeah.
And I understand that I have to conform to the medium. Yeah. But do I want to? No. And
the idea is to press repeat for the 3rd time.
Yeah. I heard Sting talking about it as well, and he was like, no, the middle 8 was so special because you've already, as a songwriter, you've explained the chorus one way. Yeah. And then the second verse, you have to then go, all right, well, here's another angle we're going to hit the slope at. Yes. And then the middle 8 you get a chance to go to completely away, to then come back again, and which makes that 3rd chorus so satisfying, is because you've heard it twice, and then you've broken all the rules, and then come back to that.
Also, it always allows you a different angle, because the verse is kind of setting up the story, telling the story. The chorus is like the big unifying feeling, and then you come back to the story, and then that feeling again, and then in the bridge you can actually another angle, or you have a chance to shed new light on this story that the song is evolving.
Well, I think that's really important, because there's a Tracy Chapman song which is called Cold Feet. Mm-hmm. And if you don't get the chorus 3 times, you won't understand the genius of the song. Mm. So I'm not sure in what order it is, but the first time they mentioned cold feet was talking about when she was really poor and they didn't have any heating. Right. And she ended up getting cold feet, cold feet. Yeah. Second one is about when she was about to get married. Yeah. And she didn't want to marry the guy that she was going to do, and she got cold feet, cold feet. And then the last one was when somebody died. Aww. And then they got cold feet, cold feet.
So good.
And then each time you realise that one phrase or that one statement has just been like gone through so many different angles, and it's like they harpoon the most beautiful part of this, like, it's gorgeous. You need that. I think you need that amount of time to be able to explain an idea like that.
So now we got to go to Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That was a big one, right? That was
that's the biggest. Yeah,
the biggest.
That's still, I'm going to say still, they're all doing really well on streaming, but that one in particular is like, you know, you get,
I mean, it's so on the nose, but so well done. So
it's so on
we all want to be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. It's like, that's when you've made it.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration? How did it come about?
How it came about, this is the exact story. I was on my way to go to the studio. I tend to not, if I'm going to the studio, I tend to not like to listen to other people's lyrics. Mm-hmm. So I tend to listen to a lot of classical stuff, or a classical FM. If I'm in the car on the way there, I'll say turn on, you know, classical FM or lyric FM. Yeah. It's funny, it's called lyric FM, but there's no lyrics on it because it's classical. So I listen to it, and all I get is just chord structures and stuff down. And I walked into the studio, and when I was in the cab, the hour that they'll play like this full hour of like a famous composer. It's called the Hall of Fame hour. Oh. So you've been listening to the Hall of Fame hour on Classic FM.
And you were looking, where's my title for today? And then,
exactly. I just sat down and was like, well, it actually said it on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just tells you what the program is. Yeah. It just said Hall of Fame. I was like, Hall of Fame. I was like, because you automatically think, oh, that's the name of a song. Yeah. And I'm like, is that? And he's like, that was Beethoven with the, you know, Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker Suite in D major. And I was like, what was Hall of Fame? I've never seen that as a title. Yeah. I was like, fucking bingo.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I went in the studio, usual little skin up on the way in, little smoke before I go in. And I'd gone in, and Jimbo, who I'd been working with, who's a kind of long-term collaborator.
We'll have him this week too on the podcast.
You have him on the podcast?
Yes.
kick ass, great, yeah, great guy as well.
You love him.
Loads of energy. So he got in the studio. He was already in the studio. I walked in. He played me the piano riff. And I literally was like, hold my beer, like, let me in. Yeah. So the mic was on. I went in and I freestyled basically the whole first verse and chorus.
Amazing.
So it was some of the lyrics changed, but most of it was like, I said, I can be the greatest, I can be the best, I can be the King Kong banging on my chest, I can change the world, I can do anything, I can do. And I just kind of was like off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And then the chorus came in. I just went, standing in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And it was something like, and the world's gonna take your name.
Yeah.
And I just started scatting them all out. And I went back in. I was listening. I was like, fuck, this is really fucking good. And then Mark came in, and then we went through. Basically going like, okay, here's the idea. How do we perfect this?
Yeah.
And he's like, what if we change it? Instead of being because it sounds a bit egotistical. I can be the greatest. I can be the best. What if we're telling people that they can be? You can be the greatest. You can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest. And it was that nice little flip in it that kind of gave that perspective of it and really gave it great credence. So we wrote the song. Finished it. It was done in like 2 days. It was probably the fastest one that we'd ever written.
Wow.
And we played it to the label. Label loved it. They were like, "Fuck, that could be his first single."
Great.
At the time, I was working on The Voice.
Yeah.
So I was in with Jessie J and Will I Am.
Jessie J was on the show last week.
Yeah. Kick ass.
So good.
She's such a great. Yeah. Genuinely in the room, the best singer I've ever heard ever.
Crazy powerhouse.
Unbelievable, like, you know.
And
all
sees
bow
herself
down.
as a rapper, not even a singer. That's like a side product, the singing.
I kind of consider myself a coffee drinker, not a lead singer, you know.
Right.
She's incredible talent, man. So I was kind of around these each day, and look, you think things are just like, oh, they all just happen naturally, but I'm looking at the American one and thinking Maroon 5, Christina Aguilera, they just did moves like Jagger. Yeah. Like, we need a tune because we're, you know, the BBC are spending 20 million on this show.
Wow.
You know, there's me, Tom Jones, Jessie J, Will I Am.
Yeah.
Why don't we get that song? And I was like, shit, well, Hall of Fame could be brilliant because like everyone wants to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And
so I played it. Me and Will struck up a kind of similar relationship whenever we write together all the time. So I played it to him, and he's like, because I played him 3 records off the new Script album, played him those ones, and he goes, play that one again, play that one again, play it 4 times, play that one again, and he's like, yo, this is the P's new single, like, send me over the parts. And I'm like, like, no. And so there was a big fight on for the song.
Wow.
And he's like, yo, you're gonna need to give me that song. And I'm like, giving you the song, like, unless I'm on it or something, or maybe it's the script and the P's. And he's like, no, why don't we do script Will I Am? And I was like, let's do it. So at the end of one of the shows, I had the hard drive on me. We went to his apartment, and then we started to he came up with the "You can be a champion, you can be a champion," the post after the second chorus, and then did some changes to the lyrics on the second verse. But then it was like, instead of it being a verse, I'll do a verse, you do a verse.
Yeah.
Why don't we do line by line?
Yeah.
So it's like I can be the greatest, and then he's like a swap off duet.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a great idea. So we went over to his place, and we didn't have a pop shield because he got a new mic. So we just put like the bath towel, put it over it, and just fucking did all the vocals in his apartment. Yeah. And that's the vocal that you hear on the record. You know, it's just for me, because I mean, I always play it off like this was always meant to happen. But from my point of view, I'm still that kid who's on the couch. You know what I mean?
Isn't that crazy how that
Will
never
I Am
leaves you?
from the Black Eyed fucking Peas
that
here.
feeling never goes away. Like, it's imprinted, right?
Yeah.
You struggle. All these moments of when you didn't get what you needed, and you were abandoned, you were rejected. Those things, they just never go away. It's tough that they don't. But I still feel, as much as I would like for them to change, I still, at this point, I'm like, should I touch the Jenga that is my life? Should I pull one of them out? Because would I still be the same person I am today? Yeah.
I really appreciate the product at the end.
So when you do therapy, how do you address those wounds?
Reframing them, it's like to look at things in a different way, in a different manner,
to understand them, to cope with them, to reason with them.
I also feel songs, there's lyrics in songs, sneaky lyrics, like little Easter eggs that I've left in most of the script songs, that although they're talking about the story that we're working on, there's a few lines that are very deep and very meaningful. My mum, when we were younger, she obviously had 6 kids and stuff like that, but her and my dad had a lot of issues, but she went off to the UK for a few months for a break, or what they were going on a break, but she left the house and she went to London for a while, and my other sisters were then fucking mom's gone, so we're like coming home trying to play games of like, is mom here today, like opening up the curtains to see if her clothes were there, that kind of.
How old were you?
Fucking kid, like 5, 6, something like that. So those kind of things, people have issues, and you can kind of blame somebody or somebody else. Maybe they had mental health issues, all of those things. And I feel like there's like certain lines, like I have a song called Talk You Down, which is basically talking about relationship suicide, which is like, if you go, I go, so please don't get out of this relationship. But we have this amazing there's a few lines in it: gonna stay with friends in London, and that's all I get to know. So it was just in the midst of the story of like, she's I'm having a cigarette, it's just a cigarette gone, no, you couldn't be that far, I'm driving my car to where I hope you are, maybe I can talk you down, maybe I can talk you down. I'm kind of singing about my dad. I'm not singing about, people would think I'm the one singing about me, but I'm like, all those lines, gone to stay with friends in London, that's all I get to know. It's like my way of actually being like saying my truth, but in the music, and not really knowing it. But every night I'm on stage, I'm singing that fucking that line. Everyone thinks I'm singing about me, but I'm not. I'm actually thinking about my mum. You know what I mean? So I personally anyway, most of my material has come from my life. Do you know what I mean? I've hit bits and pieces that I've found, and I just cobbled them together into, well, that looks kind of cool. You know what I mean? But that's therapy to me, is you can talk about it. Some people, I mean, you're blessed with an open heart, bro. That's why it's so easy to chat with you and to write with you. Is that I always feel secure in whatever I'm going to say will be accepted in the best possible way.
Thank you.
Whereas that's a really tough thing for a guy, for two guys, in order for one to say it, and then for the other one to take it on in the right way. Because sometimes you can say it and the other guy's, shut up, you fucking, this, that, and the other, like fucking, you big girl's blouse or whatever. But then to be able to feel like you're in a secure, safe space, that's what music always was for me, was that secure space. I could tell it anything and it would turn it into a melody for me. Or it would turn into something that other people go, ooh, that's a really special relationship to have with an entity in this world,
So in the meantime, you were touring massive tours, like what I see, like stadiums and from every album the script put out, the tours got bigger.
Yes.
And I think last time I was in London, you were touring with Pink. You played Hyde Park or some incredible venues. What were some of, maybe you want to share some of the craziest, most amazing tour experiences you've had?
Yeah, I mean, it all happened pretty fast. When we released their first album, it went number 1 in Ireland, number 1 in the UK a month later. We're the first band since U2 to debut in both places at the same time in number 1. A first Irish band in a long time to break the American charts since U2. And it was astonishing. But in that first year, we went out on tour with U2. We did the Claw tour.
So you're friends with Bono, close?
We're acquaintances, friends. They've always been nothing but supportive to us, but I wouldn't be falling out of a bar with Bono at night time, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
It's not because I don't want to. I think it's just different generations, and it's different things to do. But we got to tour with U2, and the same year we got to tour with Take That. We were the main support on both, and I don't know very many bands who can do the rock thing and then do the pop thing, and are still accepted by both audiences regardless. So we got to do that, and then we got picked up by Paul McCartney.
Whoa.
To do he was the first time he was playing the Beatles material again, and we got to open up Shea Stadium for him in America. So we did his whole American tour.
Incredible.
It was 2 acts, us and Paul McCartney.
Incredible.
I was like,
did you also perform a song together?
No, unfortunately. I will tell you that we were in Shea Stadium, my first time playing Paul's side of stage, and we're doing this whole intro where it's like a festival intro where like you play like the bass is coming dum, 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 and it kind of keeps going, and like so it's like the guy out front can get a bit of a mix on the bass, and now the drums come in halfway through, then the guitar comes in, and then I walk out on stage, and then I start playing piano, and you've kind of got a mix by the time I come out. So I walk out, and the guy he fixed my mic was loose. Wow. Takes my mic off, puts it on the keyboard, puts it back up again. Good to go.
Yeah.
So I walk out like this, and I've got my rock pose, 60,000 people.
Wow.
And I go like straight into like Before the Worst. It was a piano riff at the start of it. So I'm like 3, 2, 1, and I just hear a car crash of drums and smashes and cymbals. And
did the drums fall off the stage or what?
No. The guy had taken my microphone off, put it on my keyboard, changed it to drums, and then put the microphone back up. So when I get out,
you were playing drums on the keyboard.
I was playing drums for the first 4 bars. Right, so and you know what it's like? It's all like
in front of 60,000
whistles. Paul McCartney side of stage, fucking like I'm like slow mo.
He must have regretted what he
kill me, and like clicked it to piano, and then it was like.
Oh my God.
It was like God came and kicked me in the balls, bro. I couldn't.
Wow.
It took me such a long time to try and get myself back in together to like try and.
It's too funny,
dude. It was the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy's still with us today, though. The guy who made that mistake.
Wow.
He never made it again, though. In fairness.
No.
But yeah, that was embarrassing. But we've had like we played Croke Park in Ireland. It's 86,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, and Aviva. Kind of just gotten bigger and bigger, and to the point where it's crazy, you know.
And you're still like probably more than ever, like packing these stadiums.
We just sold more tickets than we've ever sold on the last tour.
It's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
We're 20 years, like nearly 20 years out as a band.
Yeah.
And it
speaks for the substance of your songs that people connect on such a deep level that they really identify with you and identify with your songs.
I think so. I love the fact that we're not afraid to play all of the like I love Man Who Can't Be Moved, and I love Breakeven. Oh my God,
yes.
I'd never be the band that's like, no, we're just playing, our new record Satellites from top to bottom. People are like,
no,
what? I understand the journey that those people have come on to come to see us.
Yeah.
Maybe they've never seen us live.
Yeah.
Our songs affected them when they were younger, and they're coming for nostalgia because maybe their dad or their mum introduce us to the band.
And now you get 2 generations,
Yeah. Well, the mad part about it now is that the TikTok, let's say Instagram generation, that's really come on board. We had this for the past 2 or 3 years. We've had these trends where the Man Who Can't Be Moved, Breakeven, and Hall of Fame especially, are just going wild on those platforms.
Amazing.
And I thought it was like, I'm going to go see some pictures of us, and it's all, they care about me. They don't care about the band. They just care about the lyrics and music, which is beautiful because they're using our music as their wallpaper for their generation.
Yeah.
And it's something like along the lines of, I think like something like Piano Man by Billy Joel. It's not a current song, but it's one of my favourites because it was one of my dad's favourites.
Yeah.
And it'll always be a brilliant song because it's just a great song. And I think that's what you're kind of seeing over time is all the songs you put out over time, it's the really good ones that stick around.
It's true. So I'm thinking back of the times we met. I think the first time was like 2016.
Yeah.
In London, we wrote a few songs here.
Yeah.
Some made your record, which I was very proud of.
Yeah, dude, so was I.
One made it onto Josh Groban's record.
Yeah.
That was
a great record.
And then we kept, every now and then we saw each other. And then at some point we were in Norway and in a fjord, and suddenly you're there.
That was nuts. For those of you, we were in, me and my fiance at the time, we'd gone to what we thought was the most secluded place in Norway, the tip of wherever.
Until that massive cruise ship came along.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And there we were out on the whole day. And I'd just been talking, I was like, I need to go see Toby and go to LA because I loved our times together.
Yes.
Like, we just get in the room 3 days and just like 7 songs later or whatever. But I was like, I'd just been chatting about it and we'd been out on the river and we stopped at this hotel and I was just going to go up, have a whiskey, and then we were going to go back to our hotel. And then I just hear your voice coming around the corner. Like, oh,
you
you're
heard
going
the voice first and then you saw my face.
Yeah, I see. No, because
so
it was yeah, exactly. It's you're completely like, your voice is unmistakable.
That's funny.
And you were going in for dinner. I was like, Toby. I was like, what are you doing here? Like, I was like, damn,
that's so funny.
It was yeah, stuff like that is meant to happen. Really is meant to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was crazy.
And then in LA we wrote quite a bit, and with Mark as well.
We wrote with Mark. And then I remember I had my throat surgery.
Yes.
And then while I was recuperating, you know, you were kind enough to have me up there. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was like,
we went
I
surfing.
think I've got an idea for a song. Like, help me, maybe do the vocal later. But
and then
yeah, we went surfing.
You did surf photography, I remember.
Oh yeah, I took some great shots of you.
You did,
in my own opinion, of course.
They were great.
Yeah. I made it look like the waves were massive and you were out there surfing, hanging 10.
I think we tilted the picture so the wave looked bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shall we say a few words about Mark?
Yeah.
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 Because I know him. I mean, we wrote, 10 songs with.
Yeah.
The 3, 4 of us.
Force of nature, man. You know, just a true musician the whole way through.
Yeah. Wonderful human being.
Yeah.
Very zen, very calm, just loving person.
Yeah. Just always had... He always had that mind of like, I know when you're sitting there, we're about looking at the same thing and he's thinking of something to beat me with it and I'm thinking of something to beat him with it, as far as like the lyric or how you explain
like a brother
something.
to you, like the brother you wanted, basically.
Yeah, it's the brother you chose.
The brother you chose,
to the ones you get there and with, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'd always, it's the relationship I had because a lot of people see us in the band together and it's, I guess, somewhat of a, it's just what you allow people to see. Yeah. But the stuff that they don't see was the years of building up confidence and the years of like, he was probably the coolest person I ever met when I was growing up.
Yeah.
A lot of that was to do with, I was coming out of that period where I lost all my friends and I was struggling really badly to feel worth, self-worth and all these things. So dancing became, he didn't give a shit if I had a disease or not. He didn't care. You know, he then, I guess, somehow, because we're both from similar backgrounds, so we could really bond over our parents and issues and all that kind of stuff. But but also he was a few years older than me, so he was a little bit more learned. He was street smart. Yeah. He could kick the fuck out of anybody. You know, he's a good bruiser, but also
did
very.
Did that ever happen?
Yeah, loads of times. Yeah.
Oh wow,
loads. Yeah, loads. In Dublin.
So he was your bodyguard too.
Yeah. He was just a great fighter because he could dance, he could move.
Wow.
He could fight as well. So I kind of really looked up to him, and he kind of, I guess, shepherded me through, looking back now, those teenage years. Yeah. Because I wasn't very confident. I could sing and I was talented, but I wasn't confident. Yeah. And sometimes that goes to the wayside. You don't ever get the confidence enough to do it in front of people. So I think early on he seen something in me, I seen something in him, and then that was it. We just hit it off. Yeah. And you didn't need anybody else because we kind of finished each other's sentences and cut each other slack and all those kind of things in that way. So but yeah, he's just a fierce supporter of you, very loyal, all of those things. So, you know, it's weird. It's just strange to not have him around anymore, you know.
Yeah. Was that sudden? Did that surprise you? Or
Yes, it was. You know, he was unwell for a little bit.
I remember when we wrote, you were so loyal to him, even though sometimes it was just the two of us writing. You said, no, we have to have Mark in there too. And
yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, I always like. I also don't. If I'm out and I'm writing, I also kind of don't feel like the song's complete unless he's had his look over or there's a filter gone over it. Because I really. You know what it's like once you reach the top of the mountain with a hit song or a writing team, there's only certain people that you can go to for that advice because everything else is subjective unless you've gotten to the number one or whatever. So I'd always he'd be one. Steve Kipner would be another.
Yeah.
That would be like a father figure to me as far as songs go.
Yeah.
That you just get the sign off, like, is there something here I'm not doing?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe have I twisted the lyric enough?
Yeah.
I know. So I'd always had that. So it was always weird. It was weird to not. It's weird still to not have him around to do that.
Yeah.
So I find myself. It's funny because he's not here, but he is very here because I'm playing on his guitar.
And all these songs, he's in all these songs. So he's very present with every script, concert.
Yeah.
Most songs you identify with and sing,
100%. So I feel like I'm continuing on our work because I don't know if there's any difference between me and him really when you get into the guts of it. We've both been through, we've been in my town together. Yeah. We've been high, we've been low, we've been broke, we've been rich, we've been, we've been through the highs and the lows. Every room I've been in, normally it's like, here's the highlights. It's like, I'll tell you the Paul McCartney story, but Mark was standing beside me. I'll tell you the thing about I Did U2, but Mark was there beside me.
Yeah.
Mark's mum got ill. He had to go back to Ireland. Well, I was beside him then.
Yeah.
So it's like the most amazing life you've ever led.
Amazing.
But also with somebody that can verify and vouch for you the whole way. Do you know what I mean? So that's
your witness in life too.
Witness. It's funny. Yeah. My fiance was just talking about that. How beautiful a concept of witness. That's kind of what you do to get married. Is you're gaining a witness to your life.
That's your next song.
I was already bashing on it last night. I have a good melody on it as well. It's funny that you say it though. You heard it here first, kids. We're all in on the writing in this one. So I still feel like he's witnessing it, because every day I'm up on stage, I'm singing the lyrics that we wrote together. Yeah. It's also a great thing in Ireland. We don't mourn a loss. We celebrate a life. And it's an interesting difference is that it's the only way you can kind of get through because the grief never goes away. Yeah. You just learn to grow around it. And it's a real honor to sing his lyrics on stage. There's one that's a killer song, which is If You Could See Me Now. Yeah. Right. And the second verse he wrote about his dad passing away because his dad passed away when he was about 13. But he wrote that second verse about his dad passing away, and I wrote the first verse about my mum and dad passing away. But now on every night I'm singing that second verse, and I'm like, it's about him. I was like, I'm now singing songs you wrote about your dad that I'm now singing about you. Yeah. You wouldn't have known that when you were writing them, but now all of those lyrics are like, they're insane lyrics. It's some of the best lyrics I've ever heard. So it was if you could see me now, would you recognize me? Would you pat me on the back or would you criticize me? Would you follow every line on my tear-stained face? Put your hand on my heart that was cold as the day you were taken away. And it just goes on and on. It's just like it just opens up more and more emotion. It's just like crowbars you open. So it's a really powerful song live. Yeah, that it is. When you're performing, I feel them around me when I'm doing it. The hair on the back of my neck stands up and stuff just before that song. But yeah, what a great. It's shit that he's not here, but what a great way to immortalize yourself in fucking powerful lyrics that other people know and love and will tattoo on themselves. And, if I don't have kids right now, I think I'll only die happy when I have kids and if I ever have the pleasure to have kids. But if I don't, being immortalized in song, I think is pretty fucking
That is pretty cool.
It's pretty fucking cool,
It's pretty cool.
Having a piece of you there that you meant, like, that's how I feel. Like pointing to Breakeven and be like, that's how I felt on the inside. Yeah. At one point in my life. And everyone's appreciating it. It's a beautiful thing to do. Yeah.
Now, in this podcast, it's also for a lot of people who eventually want to be like you and want to learn what it is that makes you you. Is there some advice, some do's and don'ts? You must have learned so much and seen so much. And you can talk to the camera if you want to. I guess say a few things.
Well, there's more and more like you can get into the technical side of songwriting, which I find is always how I write. Is to not be afraid and you can learn the technical side of it, like song form, like verse, bridge, chorus, all these kind of things, which I would say if anybody's just getting into songwriting now, it's really important for you to learn the fundamentals of music, because once you learn the fundamentals of music, it dispels the myth of it. There's a lot of things inherently from just knowing the shape of melodies, which way they should go. For me, I've got a niece right now, and she's just starting writing. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, how can I boil my knowledge down? Yeah. So I've been like, okay, here's a really easy one. This is ABC stuff, because it inherently, is make sure that your chorus melody is above your verse melody. Oh. In maybe 3 to 5 notes higher than where you started the verse. So the verse is down here. I was on a name and then it brings energy to whatever you feel like you want to say in that chorus. Yeah. And if you can visualize that, it's a melody, a low melody is down here and a higher melody is up here. So that's the same when you're making noise, all of the energy is up in the higher notes. Yeah. So that's normally our choruses our verses are down here, and then there's a fake energy up here, which we go for. You could sing it all down here, but we just go up the octave. Yeah. So you can kind of just write it and then go. And for me, Don't Bore Us, Get to the Chorus was another one. If you're standing in front of a microphone, this is how I imagine every song that I write. Yeah. I'm standing in Washington like Forrest Gump. Yeah. And I'm there with the microphone, and there's, that big place, what's a Memorial Garden. Yes. And there's 1 million people there. Yeah. And you're going on the mic. What is it you want to say to 1 million people? Get what message have you learned, a nugget that you want to say? Is it a joke you want to tell them? Yeah. Is it don't forget this? Is it one day everybody fight for yourself? What's that one thing you want to tell 1 million people? And that sharpens and focuses the mind down to, have I got anything to say? Yeah. Should I be here at this microphone right now, or should I go and get something to say? Yeah. And I was trying to tell her, like, if you don't have any ideas, the main one she was kind of talking about was, she's like, she has sensory issues, so she's synesthesis and stuff like that, but also like loud crowds and kind of stuff sets her off. Yeah. And she's a beautiful singer, but she's only starting off later. And she's like, it was just as she was saying, she's like, I feel like I'm running out of time. I was like, yeah, and how old are you now? She's like, I'm only young. It's like, I'm young, but I feel like I'm running out of time. I was like, what a beautiful thing to think, is like, how crazy is it that I'm 17 and now I only feel like I'm running out of time. Yeah. Running out of time. I'm just here on earth, and is a future man. I'm running out of time. Just, what is that saying? If it's something that you feel that is, what's the word, is getting you from the inside, or it's a topic of conversation, you can make that into a song. Yeah. Easy. You don't have to look over here for something amazing, or find an Instagram quote. Instagram are full of like really cool 2-liners that are, they're like, oh, that's really poignant, I must remember that for later. Yeah. You can, what was the feeling you got from that? What was the sentiment you got from that? Yeah. And can you then, write your own? Yeah. And if you can't, songs are kind of about taking those and then putting them to music. Yeah. So there's lots of different ways you can do it. That was to do with the actual art of songwriting. Yeah. Make sure that the stuff that you want to write is worth it, As far as your vocal, because you've gone through a lot of things with your voice. Yeah. Like, how do you train? How do you maintain? How do you prepare your voice? Like, when you go to the studio, when you go on concerts where you cannot afford to lose your voice, what do you eat to make sure your voice stays? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll go through all that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't know how boring it is for me to go through this.
No, this is for every singer. I mean, all right, cool. Well, it's gold for singers.
I've been through absolutely every possible scenario you can be in. I smoked, I drank, I partied late at night. All of these things hurt your voice. You might think like, oh, I've been smoking for years and it's never affected it.
People think that the voice actually gets richer and more textured if you smoke, but it hurts the voice.
It hurts the voice, 100%. Yeah. I mean, a piano player doesn't go up and dip his fingers in acid every time he steps away from the piano. It's what you're doing. You can get that same huskiness from technique. You don't need, like, it's improved that's just for someone who's addicted to cigarettes telling you that because they really believe it, but it's not true. It really isn't true. Gives it more texture, and it's like, but also gives you cancer. It also makes sure your stamina goes down to like, you can't sing for 2 hours a night. You can only do 15 minutes before you're, clearing and stuff.
Wow.
There's a period of when you're young that nothing affects you. You can drink as much as you want, and do you know what I mean? You don't get a hangover the next day. You can smoke whatever you want, and you can probably hit those high notes, but it does catch up with you. I'm living proof that it catches up with you, because I burnt the candle at both ends and ran out of wax very, very, very quickly.
So what do you do now? Are you a healthy
I don't drink.
eater?
Yeah, don't drink.
You don't drink, period?
Don't drink. Yeah, I gave up. I went through periods of smoking, not smoking, and I never gave it enough time for it to fully clear up. So last January, I gave up everything pretty much. I gave up alcohol, caffeine.
How was that?
Tough.
Now now it's water and
yeah, basically like sparkling water and so I can drink like decaf.
Also
decaf
sugar.
tea.
Are you careful with sugar too?
Not really.
Not so much.
No, I need something.
Some stimulants. Yeah.
I need something. Well, I've noticed that I replace a lot of stuff with sugar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I have my sugar. Like, now where's my biscuits? Where's my biscuits? So I kind of figure that. But working out is huge. Leafy vegetables, like green vegetables.
Greens, yes, fresh greens. That is big. That's
huge.
a big one.
You wouldn't think
all the vitamins that are in there that go away once you cook it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I try to work off the rainbow colours of the rainbow. So whatever you're having, I had like a Remedy kitchen bowl, but there's yellow, there's orange, there's green, there's red. You don't even need to know what the calories are, this, that, and the other. If you've got these colours on your plate, as long as they're not Fruity Loops, yeah. But as long as you've got a good palette of colours, just super healthy stuff. Because I've done all the fatty foods. So the fatty foods, this is the reason why. But the fatty foods, when it goes into you, it causes acid reflux.
Okay.
And acid reflux, you might not get the symptoms of it, but I was eating a lot, like burgers and fries and shit, bad stuff. And then at nighttime I lay down, and all of the acid, because it's really hard to break the food down, all of the acid goes in, starts attacking the food, and then when you lie down at nighttime, all of that acid just goes up in your esophagus.
Bull.
Yeah, so you've got this bile going on your cords.
Yuck.
And then it just overnight, it's just like you've just been steeping your fingers in acid.
Ugh.
And then you like wake up and it's going to be all callous and hard.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't reach the high notes and stuff. So then you start to force, and then you can.
So it's all connected. It's the food, it's the water, it's the food, the alcohol, it's
everything in moderation.
The workout, the cigarettes, the
everything in moderation.
Drugs, everything.
Yeah. You need to everything in moderation.
Because that's really hard to understand at first, that actually affects the voice. And like eating healthy as a kid, I also didn't understand it, and now it's so clear.
Yeah. It's almost like it's not that I didn't want to understand it. I just loved the taste of tasty stuff more than I did the common sense of it. Now
so also seeing the bigger picture. Like I think so often for me it was crave. Like I crave the feeling of eating chocolate. I crave the feeling of of the cake. But now it's more like big picture. I look at what happens after. What happens after I've eaten the cake? What happens after I've had this sugary drink, the chocolate, the Subway sandwich that my stomach won't digest because the bread's 9 months old and you can't see it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like all of these little wisdoms of looking at the big picture at after, and applies to everything. Applies to contracts. Like any contract you'll ever sign. Don't look at what happens before the advance. It's completely irrelevant. You'll recoup it sometime. What happens is how it ends.
100%.
When do you get your rights back? When are you out of that contract?
Yeah.
How quickly can it finish if it doesn't work out? That's the only thing that matters.
Dude, 100%.
Yes.
I think that comes when you have knowledge, right? But not wisdom is knowledge experienced. And all of those things. As we're getting older, I now realise, because I've done it a ton of times, I've gone out and gotten drunk before, or the night before a performance, and just being sluggish. But I could always go out that same night and get drunk again, and then not really, and just kind of pave over everything with a 70% success rate. Whereas when you get older, you look back and you go, shit, I could have done so much better there, or I could have done this, that, and the other. And I think in retrospect, Whereas a hindsight is 20/20. You get perfect vision looking backwards.
Yeah.
But when you're looking forwards, it's a bit murky.
So what you mentioned too, you said you did a survival training. I'd like to maybe
okay.
hear that. That's so exciting.
Well, it was,
and also, I mean, I always ask this question of the quick this or that, and one of the question is cruise ship vacation or like a wild trekking tent vacation in the wilderness, and you'd probably be the
wilderness.
second. Yes.
Oh, boy, for sure, yeah.
So tell us about the survival.
So survival, well, I really enjoy going out. Like, we met in Norway and stuff, so I enjoy that. I went on a hike to ask my fiancée to marry her as well.
Nice.
But on Saturday, it was a Christmas present. She got me a survival course, which was to go, and I'm not like a conspiracy theorist, but you basically go, you learn how to make a hut from scratch, learn how to make fire from scratch.
How do you do it?
Well, I need to show you. You need to be in a forest to do it. But well, it's really interesting. You need to look at all these different things. Which way is the wind coming? And so you can tell from the trees which way the wind is blowing.
Cool.
The shorter tree to the longer tree.
Yeah.
The shorter tree, that will show where the wind flow is going up, because the longer trees will get more coverage and therefore will grow longer and higher, and these ones are more stunted because they get more weathered.
Yeah.
So that's a way that you know that if there's no wind, that's a way you know.
Right.
But you mainly you need to get a spine stick, a long stick, and then you need to get 2 fork sticks, and then the spine goes up. You put the 2 forks either side of it, which gives it stability in a triangle.
Yeah.
And then across one side, you need to line up all of these sticks to the size that where the spine is.
Yeah.
You need to lean them diagonally, so they're not leaning straight on it, so it takes the weight off it.
Makes sense.
And then all the way around. So you're leaving the outside is kind of almost like a triangle where you can just slot into.
Yeah.
The angle on the sticks has to be enough that your body can fit in. Right?
Nice.
This is so like technical.
I like it.
Where your body fits in.
Yeah.
And then you look for mulch, mud, anything that you can to kind of pack around the side of it.
Oh yeah.
And then leaves, dried wood, a lot of, like you find like a lot of ferns and a lot of like kind of mesh. You put that down as a layer, and then you put your wet leaves kind of around it, because that's...
And then padding where you lie down.
Yeah, well, you use padding, or use you can use actual like, what's it called, birch. So you can use like birch because they're fairly long.
Yeah.
So you can use birch, put another thing on top of it, because
yeah.
you need what's the word? You need a way for air to get underneath it.
Oh,
right. So this a word I only learned is convection, right?
Yeah.
Which is if you're in a windy place and it's cold and you're leaning against a rock, all of your warmth goes into the rock because it's colder than you are.
True.
Mad, right? But if you're on the ground and the ground is colder than you are, all your heat goes into the ground. So as long as you're suspended up and you've a little bit of air underneath your body, your body keeps its natural heat.
Whoa, that is smart.
It's so you know what I'm saying? So we learned that. We learned how to make fire.
That's good.
With birch as well. That was really great. What else did we do? We did different nuts.
Yeah, you gotta see what you eat, so you gotta know what's edible, right? You can eat tree bark, right?
Yeah, they have another course where you do a whole nature thing where you then become very proficient in. If you had to, but we were kind of thinking like, okay, what if everything went to pot?
Yeah.
What's the first thing you're going to try and kill? What would it be for you? What would it be? Like, you're in a forest in England. What are you going to try and kill to eat?
Worms, snails.
Well, yeah, maybe for the bit of protein. But we were kind of thinking. This one guy, he was like, I'd kill a bird. I was like, how are you going to kill a bird?
Yeah.
How are you going to? He's like, with a bow and arrow. I was like, okay, let's go back even further. How are you going to make one? And he went, I don't know, cat gut. I was like, how are you catching the cat? One woman, she turned around and she said, she goes, food. Food catches animals. And I was like, oh, now you're onto something.
Thinking.
So she said, you could make a fake ground of leaves.
Yeah.
A hole in the bottom of it, and then put a bit of food on it. Yeah. And then maybe something comes along, plops down into the hole. I was like,
but then you have to kill it too with your bare hands.
Then you got to kill it. Then you got to skin it, gut it.
If you've never killed before. Yeah. And I wouldn't want to kill anything.
Have you ever killed anything?
No, I actually never have.
Really?
No. Okay. And I haven't eaten meat in maybe 6, 7 years.
Wow.
I'm lucky my wife is very good at cooking vegetarian things, but we do eat fish. So it's not. It's kind of meat too. Meat of the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. It's the chicken. Fish is the chicken of the ocean. No, but that's great, man. It's great. It's good food for your brain as well. Fish.
We do one little segment in this podcast which is called Guess That Song. I'll play you a few melodies and you have to guess the song. Is that okay?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Of course.
All right.
Oh, that's it.
You can have another note if you want to. I can give you 2 more notes. Then
Okay. Oh, is it one of your songs?
No.
Is it anybody's
song? It's one that you know. I'll give you one more.
Oh man, because my mind is so. I'm thinking of all sorts of root notes on it.
I think there's a harmony to it. It's probably. I might get it wrong. It's somewhere there.
Is it one of our songs?
No. The continent name. Now you know it because there's only so many continents.
Oh god.
Which continents are there?
I don't know, man. You're like jogger. I told you I'm dyslexic, man.
Which continent comes to mind first?
Africa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. All right.
I only know that's a continent because okay. I love that tune.
Such a good song. Okay.
Blackbird.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
That's a Beatles song, right?
Yeah.
What a great song.
Blackbird in the dead of night.
Beautiful song.
Yeah, gorgeous. Glenn can play that actually on guitar.
Not
more.
It starts with the word don't.
Don't speak.
Yeah, you got it.
What you're saying. Yeah.
Such a good song.
Don't tell me cause it hurts.
Yeah.
Did you write that?
No, I wish Gwen
I wrote
Stefani
that.
and her brother, and they had some magic going on back then. I'm not sure what it was, with no doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing, and it's very quick. I give you a 1-word prompt, and you can say whatever you want to. So I say 1 word, and you say what comes to mind.
Okay.
Spirituality.
First thing that came to mind was God.
Mm-hmm.
I've been going to church pretty religiously for about a year now, since last January, like every day.
Mm-hmm. Every day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Been going to church as much as I can when I'm around.
So you feel a real connection now?
I feel a real connection to the Spirit. I feel a real connection to God. I feel a real connection to I always class myself as being spiritual and not realizing what it was I was thinking of, because I always had this, we're all separate, but I feel like I am you, you are me, we are them. I feel at the end of the day, we're all going back to the same thing, where we were, and what we were will be what we are in the future. And that sounds mental, but for me, I find a lot of serenity in knowing that I was not me for a lot longer than I will be me. Because if you take the realms of infinity, our flash of a life, if infinity is that, we might as well not have happened. So we are part of everything. Like if you leave atoms in space long enough, we happen. So it's fucking amazing to be alive, and that's why I try to live my life like Toby Gad. We have the same. Me and Marcus have the same as Toby Gad's living the fuck out of life. Right?
Really?
I swear.
Oh my god.
Living the fuck out of life. Woo! And it was because it was like, how can you embrace every moment like it's your last?
Yeah.
And I don't know whether you constantly think about death or something like that, but you're always really positive, super positive. You're doing something physical that gets you out into the world in a 360. You're interfacing with what's here at all times, at all moments, and it's very inspiring. But I feel like, why is everybody warring at the minute? Why is there such a thing as a fucking pain in the world or any of that stuff, when it's such a gift to be alive and to be able to breathe and whatever, that that when we go back, I'm not scared of dying. I'm scared of how I'll die, but not scared of death, because I'm way more comfortable there. I was for eternity, and I will be for eternity. But I feel like if that's heaven and that's God, all of those things. I'm a hugely spiritual, but I believe that. But I also believe you're God, I'm God, we're all God. We're all part of this one thing. We're all part of the fabric woven together. It's quite a broad, unifying theory.
Okay, happiness.
Music. That's what happiness to me means. Music is, if music isn't involved, because there's so many similarities and symmetries in it with harmony. I have harmony within my relationship with my fiance.
Yeah.
How I fit in society as a chord is, there's a symphony. Maybe that's what your city and your town is, and I see everything with that lens of there's negative, there's major, there's minor. I always think of it in that way. But happiness, I've never felt more happy when I'm around music or I hear something that's inspiring. And it's always got to do with music. Like I lose my breath at a performance, or hearing some song that's just like, it deeply, deeply affects me.
Yeah. Failure.
What I think of that is drive. I hear failure, I hear drive. Some people go like, I'm going to be a failure. Failing, I'm not scared of it, because I had to fail 100 million times. Your 10,000 hours, 10,000 tries.
So many of us get celebrated for the one thing we've done right when it took 100 failures to get there, right?
Yeah. I hate failing. But I guess you need to hate failing in order to want to achieve something past failure, because a lot of people go, I failed at that, I'm never doing it again.
Yeah.
But it's just the blind, it's that love for what it is that I do, that as many times as I've failed. Actually, it leads back to, if I had any advice for people, is don't give a fuck what people think. Don't care. If that's the only difference between somebody who does it and someone who doesn't, is they don't care if they make a mistake or they make a fool of themselves or they do whatever. They'll just like, meh, learn it. Is it winning or learning? There's no winning, there's no losing.
Wow. Amazing. And we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, and I didn't even have coffee. There's no caffeine even in that.
Wow. I'm so happy you gave me the time. And
dude, come on, anytime. Like,
this is
seriously.
really valuable.
Dude, I'm glad you threw the peaches on for me this morning.
Yes, just for you, Peach Band.
Yeah. That was great, dude. Kick ass.
All right. If you enjoyed this episode, please like or subscribe, or if you want to give a review and it's a 5-star review, we'll be like, yay. And there'll be more.
See you guys later. Thanks so much.
Bye.